What's up, YouTube? Bobbles and Ball Cards back with another video. Really excited about tonight, guys. I hope y'all don't get bored with the mail day, but I thought breaking them down would be a lot more fun. I've been excited to get this stuff in. It's stuff I've told y'all I don't normally pick up. Kind of a new thing for me. But I will say I'm very excited about it, and this possibly, I would say, is maybe my most favorite mail day ever, which is, that's a pretty big thing to say right now. But anyway, I hope everybody had a great Thursday. We got another day of the week to go. Shout out to Rick, Nathaniel, Mile High. What is up, brother? What's up, Nats, man? So I want to touch on a couple things real quick. There was a post that somebody, I showed that DA has Ben Baller boxes, and somebody said Phil Hughes put a video out saying, or opening a box or whatever, and he didn't get any parallels. I don't think he got an insert in it. He said he had opened 9 boxes previously and didn't get any. That would mean he opened 10 boxes up with no parallels, and I don't know what's going on with that, because he said he bought them third party. The odds of that happening is just so crazy. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he got them from eBay sellers, or if there was a case that got packaged up and he got it from a distributor company, not going to mention any names, and there was a case run that got messed up or something, and he just happened to get a bad case. I can tell you every box that I've seen, they've all had the inserts, they've all had the parallels, they've been normal boxes, very good boxes actually. So I don't know what's going on with that. You can say many different theories, who knows. I will say the packs looked fishy, because when I watched Ben open his box, the packs were real tight, and his packs were real wrinkly. I'm not saying he set the box up. What I said in the group might have came across that way, and that wasn't what I meant. And I might have said it that way, and if I did, I apologize. If he got it from a third-party source, maybe they did. I will show you right here. If you look at this pack right now, and this is the pack I got in, okay? Now, looking at that pack, it's wrinkled up here, but it's fairly clean. On the back, if I really wanted to doctor it up, it would look like it's never been opened, okay? They're very easy to open, and in fact, I put 4 chrome cards in it just to show what it would look like. So you can see here, it would be very simple to open one of these packs and reseal it. So I don't know if that's what happened. I don't want to speculate on it. I just threw up that DA had them, because we all said we were curious if the big companies were going to get some. So I threw that up there. On the same topic of Ben Baller, if you guys have not, and he might not appeal to everybody. I've only listened to a few of his podcasts, but he did a podcast that released today, and his guest was Gary Vee. Now, I don't listen to a lot of Gary Vee. I don't watch a lot of the Gary Vee shows. I don't hate on Gary Vee. I know a lot of people do. And I know he throws, stuff out there, and I've said it before, people can do that, and yeah, he might be smart if he's dumping the stuff he's talking about, but I don't know for a fact if he is, because I think it would be hard to move as much inventory as he buys. I think he literally sometimes might just throw a name out, kind of like I do in the group. Now, granted, I'm not Gary Vee. I don't claim to be Gary Vee. I don't have the influence, the followers, the podcast, all this stuff that man has. He is in several, he's in the sports card market. He apparently is in wine. He dabbles in apps. He goes to yard sales. I mean, this man, he's all across the board with what he buys, flips, and everything else. But I'm going to say this, and please don't take this the wrong way, but there are folks that have talked to me that, if you've watched my videos throughout, since I got on, started talking, everything else, I know there's people out there that probably think stuff I say is crazy as shit. I know there's people out there that probably think I'm dumb, that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I give bad advice, whatever. I know it's out there. But anybody that's watched the channel knows things that I've said. And when I listened to his interview today, because like I said, I don't listen to him much, and he was talking about how at the age of like 12, 13, 14, he was hustling cards. And I've mentioned back long ago, I was in elementary school and middle school, and I hustled cards. Selling, trading, buying, whatever I could do, man. He talked about his upbringing and how, if he wanted a Nintendo, his parents said, cool, go buy one. That's how my parents were. I didn't get anything handed to me. I started working a real job at the age of 13 years old. Nothing was ever handed to me in my life. I had an upbringing that it was kind of, you grow up, you know what you got to do, you either do it or you don't. And listening to him and a lot of his background, now granted, he had a family that had a family business that he helped build. I didn't have that, but a lot of things he was saying I related to. And a lot of things he said about the hobby, I've made mentions of. One thing that stood out was he said one way, basically what he was saying is one thing to ensure you're successful is to always try to predict what the people are going to do. And I've never said predict anything. I don't ever claim to predict anything. But I've said it numerous times, I always try to be a step ahead. That's why I don't really use the tools and things like that, because if I up here can think, well, let me change my focus. People are heavy into this. Like I was talking about with Pokemon last night. I didn't know he mentioned it again in that thing today. My thought of it was, look at how sports cards, everybody came back. And I related it to my brother, because in 99, my brother was in it, and if he was alive today, he would be 31. So that's kind of where I put together the pieces on the Pokemon thing, because I don't really know nothing about it. But it is a possibility that it comes back. So listen to it. A lot of the podcasts, they're like talking about, Gary building the wine the liquor shop that his dad had, and building the wine app or whatever, and how people collect wine. It was stuff like that. There was some stuff mixed in there. I will tell you, he threw out that he thinks vintage football is going to creep up just like vintage basketball did. He mentioned that he does not really get into modern. He said he collects vintage basketball. He said about the only guys in modern he collects or gets into is Acuna, Soto, LeBron, Giannis, and he spoke on Luka, and I'm telling you, I've told you guys, Luka's ankle bothers me. Luka's ankle, it scares me, and Gary said he sees Luka as possibly being another Derrick Rose or Bo Jackson. Amazing, great players that an injury took out. And, we don't know. Luka's ankle might end up being fine. We don't know. But I've said it, not once. I've said it multiple times. Luka's ankle scares me. For the money that people are putting into him, he's a great player, but his ankle scares me. So, go check it out. It was a really good interview. I have to say, I don't know much about Gary Vee other than you hear it all the time. Oh, Gary Vee plugged this player, go buy his cards because they're going to blow up or whatever. I try to check out y'all's channels, as much as I can. Listen to music. I work, message with people. I don't have a lot of time to sit and listen to 1,000 different, YouTube channels and podcasts and all that stuff. And I try to do as much as I can. But anyway, Patrick in our group, I told him to watch the video tonight. I'm going to go get to showing cards. It's only a few, but it's cool to break it down. So I told Patrick to get on because he might enjoy it, because he posted up this, and it was funny because it came in today. I showed the Bo Jackson last night. This is another card that we know, us 80s, 90s when we were collecting. This was a card to have. The Brett Favre with the way we all thought it was supposed to be spelled. Even PSA thought it was supposed to be spelled that way. So, I can remember trying to trade for this, buy it, whatever. Me and my buddies, we wanted the Brett Favres. So, picked that up. I really don't know why it's an 8, to be honest with you. It must be a centering thing or something, or a surface that I can't tell, but it's very clean. Again, I don't really care about this up here. It was a cheap card, something that, I remembered from my childhood. Great quarterback. You can't beat it for the price. I think you could buy probably 50 of these for the cost of one Joe Burrow Mosaic Silver. So, cool one to add. That's why I told you, Patrick, you might want to tune in, because it was funny. You posted that up right before I was going to go live. And I actually got it in the mail today. So, next up, this is one Guns will appreciate. And this is also kind of helped on by Jay Michelle. And that is the 48 Leaf Sammy Ball. I say Jay Michelin helped me pick this one because I was torn between the Leaf or the 48 Bowman. but I wanted to pick up the Sammy Ball because he was, in that first class of the NFL Hall of Fame. Also, he was a first round pick of the Washington Redskins the first year that they moved to Washington. And now they are no longer the Washington Redskins. So he's kind of like, the original Washington Redskin, and now they're no longer a team. The Washington Football Club or whatever they're calling themselves. It is only a 1.5, but again, I'm trying to find cards that I can pick up, at a reasonable price to maximize the funds that look nice. I'm not looking at this, I'm looking at that. Yeah, it's off-centered more than I wish it was. But the back is clean. I told y'all I was sitting there reading these stories about the players before I clicked buy it now, because it's awesome. You have all these stats and stories and accomplishments and everything. So wanted to add that. If you go to I was trying to find out. I'm pretty sure they do them by alphabetical order. I cannot confirm that, but when they induct players, and if that is the case, he would have been the first player ever inducted into the Hall of Fame, because alphabetical order, Ball, he was the first player on the list. I cannot confirm that, but if that was the case, it would also put him as the first player. Also, one thing that's cool about these, the players back in the day weren't just like offensive players. He was also the punter, played defense, and all kinds of stuff. I actually had his Wikipedia pulled up here. He actually averaged 45.1 yards per punt, and he had 31 interceptions in his career. So, pretty good. He had almost 22,000 passing yards, 31 interceptions. I mean, that you don't hear of that today. So, pretty cool. Again, I know this isn't something y'all would expect on this channel, but it's stuff that I have been really, really, really excited to add. Oh, and Mile High, I didn't mean to ignore you. I actually have bought a lot out of the group. I actually just bought Jay Michelin's whole baseball lot he had 2 days ago, I think it was. Sometimes I just message people and say, hey, I'll take it. And then they'll post it sold or whatever. But I do buy from the group. Alright. Next up, I posted a question in the group. And I said, there's 2 cards that will be in my mailbox today of player names. Now, I'm not talking the card themselves, but there was 2 players that I got in today that I never would have dreamed that I would be getting in the mail, especially on the same day. Now, I will say one person got one of the exact cards correct. Nobody said the other player. So, I'll give y'all one last guess for a quick second to see if anybody can guess. Actually, I'll show the first card. And I'm going to cover this up. But the first card is the 69 Mantle. Now, again, this was a card that was on my top 5 cards that I would like to own from all 4 sports. I had this on here. I said I thought it was cool because it had all of his stats on the back. So I picked up the 69 Mantle. Shuey hit the nail on the head right off the bat. I'm going to show you all the back real quick. That's what I thought was cool as heck. You got all of Mantle's stats. Now, do y'all see how clean this card is? Do y'all see how clean that is? Would you guess that? That's why I say I don't care about that. That thing, it's centered. The corners are sharp. The color is beautiful. The back is like immaculate. The white letter is his name. The letters are in white. It's a 2. Now I'll show you. It does have a crease right in that corner. And there's like some small ones up here. But set that right there. What does that look like? That looks perfect. I seen that and I was like, I don't really know how that's a 2. It's like you can't see it, but I get it. It had the small creases in it, but it is clean. I'll take a 2 all day that looks like that. I mean, I don't care. You know, like I said, that is pretty. So I don't care what that is. It's crazy. And it was very, 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 very affordable. Very affordable. So I got the 69. It looks awesome. Another one off my list. I am going to say I haven't got another one yet. I was very pissed off. Excuse my language. But I bought an 81 Joe Montana because that's also on my list. The guy had messaged me. The guy had messaged me about the card. Everything, you know, I was seeing if he had any wiggle room in his price. He had messaged me back. We had discussed. I buy it at his price. Well, it was $164.50. I don't remember exactly the grade. But that same day, one had sold for $250. Well, sure enough, the guy messages me and says, "Oh, I apologize. I sold this a couple weeks ago. I don't have it anymore." I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" He's seen the one that sold for $250, realized, you know, once he sold his for $164. It is what it is. It just really pissed me off. So now I gotta replace that purchase. I was really excited about it because that was another card that was on my list. So anyway, whenever that gets done, I will have that one. Okay, so for the other card, the other player, can anybody think of the other player? It would probably be on most people's top 5 baseball, iconic baseball cards, whatever you want to call it. It's not the card, but I picked up a 48 leaf Honus Wagner. Nobody said, Honus Wagner. Now, obviously this isn't the 1910. It's not the T206. But how crazy is it that the story and the theory of Honus and the T206 is that he didn't want his stuff packaged in cigarettes because of the tobacco usage. And look at this card. He's giving himself a big old fat dip. Taking him a big old piece, a big old dip of tobacco. So, this was the player. Now, I'm going to say I'm disappointed in you guys that answered on the group, because nobody said Jackie Robinson either. And Jackie would definitely, I really want to get a Jackie. So that really surprised me that nobody mentioned Jackie. But when I said this is possibly, you get a Mantle and a Wagner in your mailbox, that's a good day. I mean, Mickey Mantle and Honus Wagner on the same day. That's like, you know, I don't know. If you collected baseball cards, you know the Honus, and you damn sure know Mickey. So no, we aren't rich. These cards, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm gonna go back to it. Okay? I'm gonna go back to it. Those 4 cards, alright? Those 4 cards. I could have bought 2 copies of every one of those cards for the price of a Joe Burrow Mosaic Silver. Raw. I could have gotten 2 of every single one of them on the screen for the cost of 1 Joe Burrow Mosaic Silver. I am like excited. I mean, this has been the past 2 days of mail. You know, we had these last night, and then those today, and there's more coming, guys. There's more coming. I've been balling on a budget. That's what I'm gonna call it. Balling on a budget. Picking up some cool stuff. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoy this. I know this is not stuff that I don't think I've ever showed vintage on here, except the Hank Aaron I picked up, or, you know, the Ricky Henderson or Gretzky. You know, but I picked those up really before I started doing YouTube. I had those before I started doing this. So for the way the market has been and how crazy it's been, to be able to still get this stuff at a very, very, very affordable price. And I mentioned last night, I haven't looked at comps, because I'll take this for example. This 2 looks very nice, but you might have another 2 that looks pretty crappy. This one will sell for more than the one that looks crappy simply on eye appeal. When you get into vintage, this doesn't always determine the price. The way it looks determines the price more than this. And that's one thing that I'm actually enjoying. I'll tell y'all, I have a card coming in. I'll go ahead and tell you. I'm not going to tell you what card it is, but it's a 1. It's a PSA 1. But when you see it, it has a pinhole in it. So it got a 1. Outside of that, the card is like beautiful, but it had a pinhole. And I was like, you know what? I don't care that it's a 1. It looks perfect outside of a pinhole. And it's a card that is almost twice as old as I am. And kids used to, they used to put them up on their wall. They were like mini posters, My daughter has posters hanging in her room. Kids used to hang their cards up on the wall. They didn't have top loaders and penny sleeves and one touches and grading slabs and everything. They threw them up on the wall. And they enjoyed them, So when I seen that and I seen the condition outside of the pinhole, I was like, who cares it's a 1? I showed my daughter these tonight, and I was like, do you know who Mickey Mantle is? She's a 14-year-old girl. She's like, yeah, I know who Mickey Mantle is, And so that's what I was talking about last night, guys. I'm not going away completely from modern, but I'm having fun with this. I honestly am. I'm having fun, searching players, searching cards, like the Bart Starr, 66 Philadelphia. I always had, I put his rookie on the cards I wanted to pick up, but I thought about it and I was like, you know what, this card's $40, and it's from the first year of the NFL. He won the MVP. It was the first year of the Super Bowl. For $40, I'll take it. That's 2 blasters of new product on the shelf. $40, and it's already graded. So, that's kind of the mindset I'm at right now. I'm going to tell you, when I say that you could buy a Joe Burrow Silver or 2 copies of all of that, I'm not kidding. The Wagner is... The past week, the cards I've bought, the Wagner is the most expensive I have spent on any of them. That's the most I spent, and I paid I think it was $162.50 for it. Everything else has been below that. A lot of it well below that. So it's been fun. It's been fun sharing it with you guys. I hope the other stuff gets here by Saturday. Some of it, the seller waited to ship, and some of it has a tracking number, but it hasn't gone out yet. So hopefully it comes in soon. But I really hope you guys have enjoyed this, man. I've been having a blast tracking it down. I'm hoping... I'm not even going to lie. I want to keep searching and buying more because this has been so fun. I'm going to have to find new shelves to put up all the vintage because that isn't really vintage on the top shelf, and so I gotta find a way to put shelves up in here to put all these that I'm picking up so I can enjoy them. I know, I gotta keep them protected, but I also buy them to enjoy. So I do want to get some shelves put up so I can get more displayed. But anyway, guys, I wanted to do this one tonight. I knew I just did one last night. But when you get Mantle and Wagner, in the mailbox on the same day, that's a damn good day. I mean, you got a first Hall of Fame for the NFL. You got Mickey Mantle, and you got Honus Wagner, all in the mailbox. It's like, you can't really beat that. Guns, I'm gonna try to start looking at some basketball vintage too. I have not dabbled in that yet. I wanted to see if that market dipped down a little bit, before jumping into grabbing some of it. But I do plan to do that. There are some hockey cards I want to get. There is some vintage hockey that I want to add. So those are plans as well. But yeah, I'm glad you guys have enjoyed this. I know it's a different turn for the Bobbles and Ball Cards channel. It's probably surprised you guys. But it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed learning from watching, Guns or Patrick when he posts something, or talking to Jay Michelin, about the 48 Leaf sets. All of that stuff, it's very fun. It's not this, the daily grind of buy a card today, sell it tomorrow kind of deal. This is stuff that I'm not highly... I don't have a lot into it. It's I don't want to say cheap, but it's affordable, and it's stuff I can put away, and I can enjoy it. I don't have to worry about Mickey Mantle's market crashing. I don't think Honus Wagner's market's gonna crash, or Sammy Ball. I don't really have to worry about that. So it makes it real fun. If anything, I can start with the 1s and 2s and try to go to, from a 1 to a 2, and then a 2 to a 3, or, whatever. That's another thing with buying the low grades. It gives you something to, work towards to get a new one. If I'm not happy with that 2 or whatever, or if I want to get a better centered Sammy Ball, maybe I can find one that's a 2, that's better centered. If you start at a 10, where do you go? You don't. There's not anything higher. So, I don't, I know people might think that I'm BSing when I say buy the card, not the grade. Buy the card, not the slab. Hell, I bought a GMA. I think I proved that, Just enjoy it. It doesn't always have to be nice, shiny, and perfect, and pristine to have a whole lot of value to it. So, enough rambling, guys. I hope that y'all have a great night. I hope that you knock Friday out. I hope you, what? I have Rick's number. But yeah, enjoy the Bengals Browns game. I wasn't sure how much viewership the video would get tonight, but I didn't know how many people were interested in the Browns Bengals. So if you're watching the game, enjoy the end of the game. Have a great night. Let's kick Friday's ass. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and until the next video,